All right, we're gonna now walk through the steps to set up a Google Workspace account, which should put you in a position to, as you can see here, they're calling out, you can get a custom email with your domain. So the last video walked through setting up a URL and getting that domain set up. So the domain we set up was at makersincubator.com. So the domain we set up is makersincubator.com. If you want to set up an email account that is, say, grant at makersincubator.com or admin at or any name, and you want it to be managed through Gmail, which is my preference, it just is the most usable, most common mail system. These are the steps that you would take to set that up. So I'm going to go through this from scratch. So the business name and Makers Inc. Right now it's just me, United States, and next. All right. So then, yeah, so does your business have a domain? So if you haven't gone through the steps to set up your domain yet, you're going to want to do that first. And then, so now I can say, yes, what is your business domain name? Makersincubator.com. All right, so it's double checking, is this the URL that we want to use for our email? It is. Username to be. So I'm going to do grant first, and I'm going to set up the password. Let them know I'm not a robot. Choose some parking meters. And agree to the terms. So it's thinking for a second. So the free 14-day trial, and then it's $12 per user per month. So you have to make the decision for yourself. Are you ready to invest $12 a month to set up your email? If so, you can move forward. All right, so now it wants to know a little bit more about the business. All right, so I went through the steps to add my address and credit card details and hit submit, and looks like the account has been created, and there's some more stuff to walk through to ultimately set up the email. So I'm going to continue to the setup. All right, looks like they have a step-by-step thing they're going to walk us through here. You can see in the background here, we're in this sort of Google admin dashboard, and there are a few things they're going to want us to do to ensure that we actually own the URL, makersincubator.com, and which will allow them to route emails to the appropriate inbox. So we need to activate that. Okay, it's prompting us to sign into our domain host to activate Gmail. I'm going to sign in to activate. Confirm access and connect. So it looks like they're saying there's 5 minutes left. We'll spare you that time and check back in 5 minutes. All right, so 5 minutes later, and looks like we got an error message back. There was a problem updating settings in GoDaddy.com. Please try again or choose another verification method. Sign into your domain host to, so let's try try it one more time. 5 minutes to go. We'll check back in when it's done. All right, so that's interesting. That time it took about a minute and it worked. So not exactly sure what happened there, but that's in some ways part and parcel of how this works. Sometimes you just have to try things, turn things off, turn them back on, see if it works. All right, so Gmail is activated for makersincubator.com. Looks like there's a few more setup steps. You can create new users, so if there are multiple people on your team, you can add them. One thing I tend to do is create at least one more user that's admin at. If you're sending out automatic messages from Bubble, you can just have them sent from admin at whatever your URL is, whatever your email is. That way you have sort of two separate email inboxes. One that's for more like personal things with your name, and the second one that's for more sort of administrative type stuff. All right, so it looks like I'm set up. They're prompting me to do a bunch of other different stuff and set things up to enhance security, try out different apps and things. But now, for the most part, you're good to go. You have the ability to send and receive emails to the email address that you just set up through Gmail. So if you have Gmail on your phone, you can add a new email address through the settings there and manage all of your email for your new website through your new email setup. Yeah, so now you should be good to go with your newly set up email. So it looks like, all right, so it looks like there's an option here to test it just to make sure. You can send a test email. They pre-populate a little message, send it through. All right, yeah, so I opened up mail.google.com and you can see I got a couple automated emails, and then at the top here I see the test email that came right in. So it looks like it's working. So if you follow the steps, you should be able to set up your email with your new URL as well.